be heard, I am the devil.
What kind of voice did the devil have?
A very low voice, I'd say, sounded like Eli Wallach.
Have you saved any of this satanic toast?
Don't you ever talk about me!
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about that, or I'm gonna set it for you real quick!
Awful, just awful.
This ought to be good.
Well, hello and welcome. This is What the Hell Did You Expect? I'm your host, Kevin Ryan, weighing in this week at 192 pounds. This is episode number 27 in a collector's series, and we've already started with sort of two major fuck-ups. One being that I was so ill-prepared for today and lazy that I literally just took the intro that I made for our pilot show and added the what the hell did you expect part to it. The other is that as I was getting up to check something, you may have heard that I unplugged my computer from the auxiliary in cable, resulting in the other fuck up, wherein you probably couldn't really hear the rest of the intro. The other weird thing is that usually our intro music goes for about 5 minutes, and it's cutting out right now. It's only been on for like 2 minutes. So it's not like a fuck up, it's just strange to me. Sorry, I'm rambling at this point, and I haven't even introduced Colin, so please.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ass.
Okay. I don't have any bubblegum for you. So
Damn it.
I think you're all out of ass and bubblegum. You might have to settle for just doing this mediocre radio show.
My heart is wilting a little bit inside, like a flower that has been trimmed and put in a giant's ear.
Settling for mediocrity. That should be the title of my memoir. Settling for mediocrity.
I was going to say title of the show, but title of your memoir works too.
No, honestly, title of the show too, because let's be honest, I'm never going to have a memoir.
No, so you're not going to fucking write a memoir.
So the title of an imaginary radio show is the best I'm going to get.
Yeah. And hey, I don't think this shit is like copyrighted in any way.
No,
so you can just go ahead and reuse that title later on.
Yeah.
Unless it's all owned by KLC, but I don't honestly know.
I highly doubt it because we're recording it and putting it on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean like jack shit.
No, that doesn't mean shit in terms of copyright, but like if there were to be a copyright, it would probably be you and me.
Yeah.
So.
And oh boy, all the songs we've used illegally.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Internet, for enabling our piracy.
Yeah. Most of the songs have been from my collection that honestly, like, I have a pretty eclectic collection of different stuff, and, you know, a lot of it is obscure enough that no one's ever going to come after us for it. But didn't one of our shows get banned in Germany?
It was some nation across the water, yes.
Because of, like, a Donovan song? I think we played too much of Mellow Yellow.
Yeah, we did. We did that. That fucked us up once, and that was really frustrating because it wouldn't play, and I had to edit the video, and it was not pleasant in any way.
Yeah. Well, any excess editing is just sort of ugh.
We've gotten to the point where I don't even have to edit the shows. I just press start and stop at the most opportune times, and bam, you don't have to edit anything.
That's when you know you're professional, when you can be fucking lazy and not really give a shit about it.
Lazy.
No.
Efficiency is just laziness in a very confined space.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Settling for mediocrity.
Also, let me know. Last week, I was really loud into the microphone, so I'm trying to distance myself a bit from it.
I think
so. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. I think you can be a little bit closer than that.
All right. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
It's just that your mic doesn't have a mic cover on it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be louder on your mic at the same distance that I am from my mic. So I think the problem can be solved by me getting really close to the mic and you being just a normal distance away from it.
Okay. Then the problem is solved.
Yeah.
Can you hand me that thingy sitting behind you so I can play with it as we
this
talk?
Thingy?
Yes, thank you.
The thingy that you've been playing with for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes,
it's
wonderful.
It's a mic holder for the listening audience. Not that there's a viewing audience. I don't know why I specified the listening audience.
Should we walk around Portland one day and shoot like an hour's worth of stock footage so we can have and then play a radio show over it. So, and then like have a show that is a viewing show, but then nothing ties up with itself, and it's just like us dressed up as like Pac-Man characters or something running through the streets.
It really actually shouldn't even be us, I don't think. You know, we could make it like sort of an avant-garde performance art piece where it's a podcast, you know, just like we normally have.
Yeah.
But the video component of it is filled by something that has absolutely no relation whatsoever.
A video of my cat sleeping for an hour.
Yeah. There's this great YouTube channel, actually. Well, maybe it's not that great. It sort of depends on your perspective on these things, but I like it. It's called 10 Minutes of Your Life.
Really?
And what it is it's a guy who sets up a tripod and a, you know, nice, powerful camera, and he just sets it to record for 10 minutes. And it doesn't move, like nothing happens. You just watch a thing for 10 minutes.
Huh.
So it could be 10 minutes of, you know, watching ducks on a pond.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes of watching bacon cook. Or 10 minutes of, you know, watching the wind blow some trees. And sometimes he'll do, you know, 15 minutes of something because he took more footage. Or, yeah. No, I like that channel
How very
there's a lot of
minimalist and therapeutic.
Yeah, no, it's really therapeutic. It's meditative in a way, and you know, there's a point also at which you just get so engrossed in the video,
Yeah.
that you're like, I don't want to skip ahead. I don't want to miss anything almost. But no, I think the other thing too though is that in our sort of modern time when everyone wants a short YouTube video that delivers a lot of action and a lot of stuff in a compact amount of time, and they just flip through video after video after video and skip ahead till the important part, you know, I think it's kind of cool that there's a channel that's just like, no, we're not going to do that. It's just 10 minutes. There's a duck on a pond. Just watch it, you asshole.
There's a website called Do Nothing for 2 minutes, which is kind of similar to that. And it's just a page that's a picture of a beach on the sunset with the sound of the waves. And it like, there's a timer that's timing down to the end of 2 minutes. So it's like, you have to try and do nothing for 2 minutes. It's a challenge. It's hard to do.
Yeah, doing nothing is really difficult. I mean, I know personally, just from like a meditation perspective, thinking of nothing, like literally just not thinking,
Yeah.
and not doing anything, that's the most difficult thing to do.
Yeah, it is. I read an article today about a guy who went into one of those tanks that deprive you of sensory.
Yeah,
and you like
a sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, where you like float in some water, and then it's really dark, and the water's like your body temperature, and you can't see, and you can't hear, and you can't feel.
Right.
And it's like, whoa. And it was really interesting hearing him go. Because first I was bored, and then I was freaked out, and then I was really frustrated, and then I just sort of let go and let the peace wash over me, and that was really cool.
Yeah,
I appreciated hearing about that.
There are places for that all over the place, especially in Portland and Seattle. There's tons of places for that.
Huh.
You should go.
No. That shit scares the crap out of me. No, thank you. I will pass humbly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you would like it, though. I mean, I think it would take a session or two to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I think you would end up liking it. It's just
probably.
that it would take a lot to get you there in the first place.
There's a lot of shit, Kevin, that I see in my day-to-day life that I know I would like if I gave it a try. So it's been my world's mission to not try too many stupid things for fear that I would like them too much.
Yeah.
Like drugs.
And
Murder.
Somehow I
and
feel
building computers.
Okay, a few things. Just a few.
Just a few?
Quickly.
Okay.
One, drugs totally get you on that point. Drugs are awesome. I don't know why more people don't do them. Like, they make life so much better. I'm not even shitting you. Like, I'm not just saying this
Yeah.
to, like, build my radio or my imaginary radio persona up. Like, honestly, drugs are awesome. Drugs are great. But there's an element to drugs which, also totally fuck with normal life if you want to have one.
Yeah.
Which, I do.
I do too.
Yeah. But murdering people, somehow I don't think you would get that much pleasure out of murdering people.
No.
Something tells me
But
that
only once, Kevin. That's all it takes, and then I'd be in jail. Because let's be real here, I could not run from the law. It would not happen. They would catch me
Colin.
like at the scene, like crying over the body of whoever I murdered, even if it was like a pigeon. I'd be very sad over that pigeon.
Not even once.
Not even once.
The Montana Murder Project.
Jesus.
Sorry.
And
that
then the
got
computer
dark.
thing is just computers are fucking expensive, and I don't have time for that hobby.
Well, I mean, they're a lot less expensive if you build them yourself, but they're fucking complicated to build
Exactly.
yourself. I mean, I remember my dad built our like family desktop that we used for years, and it was a really nice desktop, and it cost him like $200 at a time when a desktop would cost you about 6 or 7, just like to buy one from Dell.
Yeah.
So he bought he bought some really nice components and put them together, but it took him about 3 straight days of assembly and frustration as he tried to get all the moving parts to like talk to each other. And I just remember like it turned out to be a great computer,
Yeah.
but my dad was just entirely engrossed in it for about 3 days. And for those 3 days, he was like probably one of the most annoyed moments of his life. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing. I don't know the entirety of his life, but it seems to
Wasn't
me,
he in the Marines?
yeah,
I bet there's ones that are higher on that list then.
maybe. I don't know. I feel like building a computer is its own sort of weird little adventure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I definitely get that. Like, that's how I was when I first started learning how to use Adobe Flash. I was up for like 20, 36 hours, just sort of playing around in it and doing all the stuff and animating, and I didn't really sleep. So there's
Yeah.
totally a dude outside the window, like, pointing at us. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure what he wants.
He wants to get in.
Well, if he doesn't have a door code, he doesn't get to come in.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not gonna do that for you. He was motioning for us to open the door, but I'm not gonna open the door for him.
Nope.
Sorry,
man. We bet you're good, but
Yeah,
we can't.
we're doing a radio show.
Exactly.
There's no way we can possibly. I mean, we could probably, sort of, like, we could probably pull ourselves away for a minute to open the door for him. But I don't really want to. I don't know who the fuck that is. Like, if he doesn't have the code, he shouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, so
We're such nice people. Anyway.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not dwell on a pointless topic that no one else can see but us.
yeah. Hey, so I've been watching Avatar. The
Oh,
Last Airbender.
lovely! I totally
I
have
am-
fallen out on that.
What?
I was gonna keep it up. I got to like episode 13 of season 1, and now I'm just like, I forgot that I was doing it.
How?
I don't know. It's been a weird week. Okay, tell
Okay.
me about your experience, my friend.
Well, I'm up to like episode 17 or 18 in the first season.
Okay.
And it occurs to me that I like Korra better.
Really? Just
I-
in general?
I do. I really do. I mean, I think there are some. Here's what I like better about Avatar than Korra.
Yeah.
The writing is better. The characters are more fully developed. There's a better sort of storyline. There's a better overarching plot. They do the right sort of things to build characters and build narrative and create complexity.
Yeah.
However, I find we were talking about, I forget if we had this discussion on the air or not, but that Avatar is much more sort of cartoonish,
Yeah.
whereas Korra is much more realistic.
I would say naturalistic as opposed
Naturalistic.
to realistic. And the way they animate it anyway.
Yeah, I guess I just much prefer the naturalistic way of doing things. The cartoon way just, I just don't connect with it in the same way. And there's also the issue of a lot of the sort of subject matter, a lot of the conflicts and problems in Avatar
Yeah.
are conflicts and problems that, you would put in a kid's show to, teach kids about sharing or about conflict resolution, which, to a 21, almost 22-year-old is like, okay, I
Yeah.
get it. Thank you.
I have a much higher tolerance for shit like that, but I understand where you're coming from for sure.
Whereas Korra delves into much more complex topics that, especially in season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I'm saying delves into more complex themes and topics, which, I think as a 21, almost 22-year-old, I have a lot more respect for the way they chose to deal with it and handle it. And I also think that in the 3rd and 4th season of Korra, they made up for a lot of the just absolutely shitty writing in the 1st and 2nd season. But maybe not enough to redeem it entirely. I guess what I'm really saying is that I loved season 3 and 4 of Korra.
Yeah.
I was not such a big fan of season 1 and 2, but it had a few more of the things that resonated with me.
Yeah.
I really like Avatar's writing and characters and world building and development, but there's just a lot of stylistic choices, and also, the fact that there's a whole episode about 2 different tribes crossing.
Okay, everyone admits that fucking episode is terrible.
Yeah.
All right? There's always going to be bad ones, okay?
I know, but there's more than just that episode that's bad.
There's also the one with the waterbending scroll, which is okay, and like there's
yeah.
But then there's shit like the one where Avatar Roku is introduced, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's a great one, and I just finished watching. There's one called The Deserter. Do you remember that one?
Yes, dude, I remember all the episodes of Avatar.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that
haven't
was an
gotten there,
amazing
but I haven't
episode.
gotten- I
I
love
think
that one
that's my
too.
favorite episode that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And that was the one that I just finished watching.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing tonight after I finish studying for this goddamn chem final that's evil. But
Midterm?
Midterm, yeah.
I was going to say
It's so
final,
hard
Christ.
to study for things, Kevin, that you really don't have a vested interest in.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't. That's why I don't study. I honestly,
Yeah, but that works for you because you still get good grades anyway.
Well, the other thing is I really don't study for things that I do care about either. I seem to do okay. I still really have no idea how I do okay with not studying, but I can just do pretty okay with not studying, as long as I show up to class and listen.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm fine.
Fair enough.
That's the other thing too about my English class this semester is this week we're reading Pride and Prejudice.
Yay.
I hate Pride and Prejudice. I hate Jane Austen.
Okay.
There are only 2 authors who I deem worse than Jane Austen.
Only 2?
George Eliot, who wrote Middlemarch.
Oh, you're harsh. You're so harsh.
And Herman Melville, who wrote Moby Dick. I hate those motherfuckers. I hate that literature. I am not going to read Pride and Prejudice at all. I'm not even going to open the book. I don't know why I bought it. I don't know why I went to the bookstore and paid good money for such a shitty book.
Yeah, it's good beer money.
I know.
Will you take this book instead, barkeep?
I somehow I don't think anyone in their right mind would want to exchange worthless literature for delicious beer or whiskey. But maybe I'll find some sap who actually likes Jane Austen. Can you tell I'm opinionated about this?
Yeah, I think Allie actually likes Jane Austen if you want to actually trade someone for alcohol.
Meh, maybe.
That said, you can pirate books. You can't pirate booze, at least not in the easy way.
Well, I mean, you can make your own booze, but that's just
Sketch
why.
as fuck.
Yeah, seriously, Eric, his wine experiment in
Yeah.
the basement, he just forgot about it, so it's moldy and like the wine is sort of weird and like not right, and he's
That's
just like,
gross.
I'm gonna throw it out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that was 40 pounds of grapes.
I know, right? But while you're coughing, and before we get too far away, I have things to say about Avatar,
Okay.
as I always do, because I disagree with you.
Okay.
What I've been watching, I just finished episode 13. No, 14? I think no, because yeah,
Which one?
I finished The Storm. I just finished watching The
Yeah,
Storm,
that's 14.
which is another really good episode.
That is a good episode.
I skipped episode. I skipped most of the Jet episode. I watched like the end
Yeah.
of it because I like the fight at the end, and I skipped all of the Great Divide because that episode is shit.
Yeah.
and I don't like it. But
No, wait, sorry, The Storm is 12.
okay, then what's after that?
The Blue Spirit.
Oh, I watched the Blue Spirit. That one is. The frog thing is a little silly, but I love it. I just
Yeah.
I like that it's silly, but also like
And then there's The Fortune Teller.
I haven't seen that one yet, and I remember really liking that, and I hope it still holds up as well
Yeah,
as I remember it does.
you know, I watched it the other day,
Yeah.
and like in the very beginning of that episode, I was like, kill me.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was totally into it. It's a great episode. It definitely holds up.
Awesome.
And then there's Bato of the Water Tribe.
Which has an amazing fight scene in it. The Aang versus Zuko
Yeah.
in there over the well is like
Mhm.
one hell of a little animation
Yeah.
sequence.
And then the Deserter, and that's as far as I've gotten, which I guess is only episode 16.
Yeah.
So you could catch up to me
Yeah.
within tonight.
And then from Deserter to the end of the season, it's all good.
Yeah.
So then you have the Deserter, and then you have the Southern Water or the Northern Water Tribe episodes, and you have the Northern Air Temple episodes, and you have the Siege of the North, and all that's
Yeah.
stellar.
Yeah.
And then you have Book 2, where everything is awesome.
Because book 2 is Earth.
Book 2 is Toph, the
Yeah.
best character in
Yeah.
the show. That's not true, but I Zuko is bestie. But oh my god, I'm so excited! I can't wait to get there.
Yeah.
Like, there's got because I felt guilty. Like I've been watching, like again, I've been going through the old episodes, and because it's like there's some episodes in there that all right, this actually does kind of feel like a step down from Korra in some ways. But then some other ones feel like they achieve this level of mythic narrative that Korra never even scratched.
Definitely.
Like this, like the Avatar Roku stuff is what I'm thinking of specifically when they're in his fire
Yeah.
temple on the island.
And I think they tried to sort of, at least in the second season of Korra,
Yeah.
with the Vatu
The spirits and the Vatu
spirit,
bullshit. Yeah.
Like I think they tried to achieve that sort of mythic level in season 2, and I think it really failed completely.
I completely agree. It was
Almost.
dumb.
Yeah.
It was really dumb.
Yeah, I think that's what I like best about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Is that their use of the spirit world
Yeah.
is so much more nuanced, and I think just much better
Yeah.
in so many ways than Korra's use of
I
it.
had that moment because like I got to the episode where Heibai, the panda spirit,
Yeah.
shows up, and I was like, wait, Aang just is in the spirit world, but he's blue, and the spirit world is normal. That's not how it is in Korra. And I'm like, I'm excited now because I don't actually remember the details of how the spirit world works entirely in Avatar. So I'm like, I get to relearn it a little bit, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Just watching that happen.
Yeah,
What else? There's just like, yeah, the cartoony thing is definitely like, there's moments in Avatar when I'm watching it. There's like 2 or 3 every episode, if not more, where there's some really inspired little sequences of animation that I don't remember as much of in Korra, save for the fight scenes,
Right.
which is where they pull out all their stops and go completely ballistic. But that said, Korra just has a higher budget to begin with, so the animation quality is better, even as the style has shifted drastically, although subtly. I don't know. It's just there's like
Yeah.
there's like that bit in episode 1 where Katara is yelling at Sokka, and it's just like a 5-second shot of her face, and the animation of her body gestures and like the cloaks and things is just marvelous.
Yeah,
There's the bit where
there's-
Aang is running on the water away from the giant
Yes.
Unagi, and that
I was
looks
about to
great.
say that, yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
or in The Fortune Teller. I know you haven't seen that one yet,
Yeah.
but there's a whole sequence where Aang and Katara are flying through the air and like making clouds.
Yeah.
And then there's another sequence later in the same episode where Aang uses his bending to basically stop the lava dead in its tracks, and like that
I remember
it's
that.
like
That's
it's
really cool.
5 seconds, but I still think that is one of the most like whoa moments of the series.
And like the show does get into some more like dark stuff. Like, do you remember the finale where the whole thing is like Aang trying to figure out not to kill the Fire Lord?
Oh, definitely.
I remember that was pretty like heavy, at least character wise. I mean, it wasn't like nothing new. Murder's been explored as a theme since all time, but the fact that it was Aang doing it made it so like, oh my god, you're a poor Buddhist 12-year-old. Can you really kill this guy for the best of the nation? And he didn't, but you know.
And I think though, I think the thing is, Avatar: The Last Airbender does get into really deep shit on one level, and then it oscillates so quickly, or maybe not oscillate, maybe that's the wrong word, I don't really know. But then it changes so drastically to something like The Great Divide.
Can we just pretend that episode doesn't exist? Like, please? No, we can't. But
we really can't.
I just hate it so much.
You know, and then it'll change somewhere in the middle, and then it'll change back to poignant.
Yeah.
And while I think that works because Avatar: The Last Airbender is much more episodic, they have a storyline compressed within one episode, whereas Korra doesn't really. Korra is much more about watching the whole season and watching the arc.
Yeah.
Whereas you could, in theory, come in at any episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender and be pretty okay.
Yeah.
Just watching that one episode, and it has its own self-contained story.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at, though, I think, is that I like the serialness of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I like how episodic it is. But I don't care for the episodes that, like The Great Divide, that are kind of shitty and like very surface level and not that, you know, poignant. Whereas I really love the poignant episodes, and I think honestly Avatar: The Last Airbender does the poignant episodes maybe even a little bit better than Korra. Even in season 3 and 4, maybe even a little bit better than Korra season 3 and 4.
I think totally, because do you remember Tales of Ba Sing Se?
Yeah.
Like nothing in Korra got to that level
no,
of holy
not at
fuck.
all.
So
yeah.
That was
I think
that hurt.
Yeah. But I think why I prefer Korra season 3 and 4 is because it's always at that excellent level of poignance.
Yeah.
It isn't up to the level of episodes like The Tale of Ba Sing Se or you know, the one that I was watching earlier, The Deserter.
Yeah.
But it's at a good level the whole way through, whereas I feel like Avatar is so dynamic that sometimes it works to its detriment.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. There's this like Korra is the result of these people having a ton of experience and knowing what they're doing. There's definitely some weird hiccups in the beginning of Avatar that just don't quite make sense, and some weird inconsistencies, but like, I don't know, not every episode of DS9 is great, so I'm more than willing to give Avatar a bye for having some
totally,
duds.
Yeah. I mean,
like what was the other one? Like there's one in season 2 that I just like I always force myself to watch, but I don't actually enjoy it very much. It's the swamp episode. It's like season episode 4 where they're flying through the Earth Kingdom, and they get like taken by the swamp, and there's the giant banyan grove tree with the guy who's like the
there's like the swamp benders.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much about that episode at all.
Okay, well you'll get to it, and it's like the only reason it's important is because Toph is in it, and because the guy who they introduce in it comes back during the Day of Black Sun invasion. But
yeah, by
that logic, you could argue that everyone is important in season 1 because of the Black Sun invasion. But whatever.
Yeah,
just get to season 3 when you have that. Oh my god, I'm watch season like. The costume changes in this show inspire me to this day. Like watching Katara's wardrobe change over the 3 seasons is really cool, because it's just like they all end up looking more like world-weary warriors or something by the end.
Yeah,
And it's just like,
I think that's what also is really getting me about Avatar: The Last Airbender is, you know, when I watched it earlier, even like a few years earlier,
yeah.
I don't think I really got the whole war factor of all of it.
Yeah.
You know, every episode has some sort of issue with we're at war. How do we navigate this issue
Yeah.
in such a time of crisis? And I think that really, you know, it resonates through the whole series and makes it really interesting to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that it's a show that never really explicitly shows the carnages of war, like in that sort of modern movie making kind of way where you'll see
Yeah.
dudes blowing up on the battlefield and stuff. But it still touches on all those topics in a much more like effects on the populace and the people kind of way. It's more like the after effects on the little man than the actual like soldiers themselves, who we do see a lot of actually. And General Fong from episode 1 of season 2, I remember, like when he tries to force Aang into the Avatar state.
Right.
That's like, wow, dude, you're fucking desperate if you want to try and get this 12-year-old kid to use his god powers to destroy an entire people's culture like they did to the Air Nation. And it's just like, I want to get there. Season 2 is so good. Oh my god.
Right. Oh, by the way, do you know what time it is?
No.
Using big words hurts you.
See,
So,
I actually never know what time it is because it's either words time or it's late night time.
That's true. By the way, this is the theme they use on Marketplace when they talk about the stock market. So
Why are you playing?
the first word is galactic.
Galactic?
Galactic.
Like other pertaining to galaxies in space?
No, not like that.
How do you spell it?
The same way,
Oh,
but
it's
it doesn't mean that.
It's another meaning of galactic.
Galactic.
This is a trick question. I feel like this
It
must
is not a trick question. Think about what do we call our galaxy? The blank way?
the Milky Way galaxy.
Right, the Milky Way. Why do we call it a galaxy? The word Milky Way came before we had the term galaxy.
Wait, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I don't know because it's big and spacey.
And milky.
Milky.
Galactic means of, like, or pertaining to, or obtained from milk.
That's hilarious in hindsight.
Of, like, or pertaining to, or obtained from milk.
Galactic. That's
Yeah.
okay. Wow. All right.
The second word is vectible. Vectible.
Like a vegetable, but a vector.
No, it's, think about, since it's IBLE, able to be something. You can do something with it.
Wow.
What does it mean? Able to be what?
Able to be cut.
No.
Able to be.
I can use it in a sentence.
Please use it in a sentence.
Okay. My messenger bag is vectible.
Vaguely greenish brown. Wearable. Hangable.
Wearable is close. Able to be carried.
Able to be carried.
Iconophobia.
Fear of icons?
Yeah, fear or hatred of images.
Huh.
Worst. WURST.
A thing filled with meaty sausagey bits.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. It's a large sausage.
Awesome.
Ballatron is your final word today.
That sounds like a transformer. Who does ballet?
BALATRON.
Something to do with godliness or holiness, maybe. I vaguely remember Tron. Maybe that's just 'cause it's from the Metatron.
You could say, do you know Yorick from Hamlet?
Yeah.
He was a Ballatron.
Just a skull. Dead?
No, before he was dead.
A fool.
Yeah, a joker, a clown.
Huh.
A Ballatron is a joker or a clown.
I got 2 out of 5 this time.
Yeah, that's
wow.
damn
okay.
good actually, compared to usually 0.
Yeah, all right.
But actually, the other thing that it's time for right now.
So not to immediately go back to cartoons again, but you know what I watched this weekend?
What did you watch
I
this
watched some
weekend?
episodes of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And that shit holds up real well.
I think a lot of Batman holds up real well. I just love Batman.
I do too.
Although I think my favorite Batman is the Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
From like the 60s and 70s, I think.
With the movie and the shark repellent.
Yeah, the fucking shark repellent or the bomb. Do you remember the bomb scene where he's
Vaguely?
trying to find like there's this bomb that's about to go off and it's so big he's like holding it over his head.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find a place to dispose of it, but every corner he turns like there's a woman with her baby like in a stroller walking, so he's like
Yeah.
shit, it can't go there. And then he like turns down an alleyway and then there's like a homeless man trying to curl up and be in shelter, and he's like shit, can't do it there. So he like keeps going to all these different but it's a really funny sequence. I really like it.
I need to watch that movie again.
Adam
It's
West
fun.
is just such a good Batman. Also, fun fact, Adam West went to the same college that my parents did.
Whoa.
Yeah, UPS.
That's cool.
He was a logger, I think that's their mascot.
Nah. But different Batmans. I really like the animated series Batman.
What do you think about George Clooney Batman? Have you ever seen George Clooney Batman?
Once, maybe. He's in Batman. No,
Like
Batman and Robin.
The 90s Batman.
Yeah, he's in the second 2 live action ones before the Chris Nolan reboot.
Right.
He's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's pretty good.
I don't think I've ever seen Michael Keaton Batman.
He's with Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen
Okay.
that.
That one's pretty
I
good. I
need
saw
to,
that
though.
over the summer, recently. Or not over the summer, over winter break, and it's okay. It holds up all right.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight is probably the pinnacle of that sort of Nolan dark
I
stuff.
I was rewatching some scenes from it, especially with the Joker.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger as the Joker. God, that man is such a good actor. Like at that part especially, and it's such a shame though that like his acting methods are arguably what drove him to suicide
Yeah.
in many ways.
Turned out a damn good performance though.
Yeah, it was God, that was a great movie.
Yeah. It was a really
I
good movie.
still think that's the best Batman movie.
Yeah,
that I've seen.
probably. Except for the shark repellent Batman movie.
Well,
but,
obviously, of course.
yeah, of the Batman films, no, The Dark Knight is probably the best Batman film. But I still prefer the DC animated universe canon version of those characters more than I do the live action versions.
You know, I also do really like Aquaman
Have you seen the new Aquaman pictures?
with Khal Drogo.
Khal
as
Drogo as Aquaman.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
that's really cool because Aquaman is never really that badass, which is unfortunate, but he should be because Aquaman is badass. I feel like we need to explain that.
No, we definitely do.
Okay.
So you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Well, all right. So whenever we get text messages in the studio, sometimes our cell
Might have
phones
been me, actually.
will cause the speakers to go meh, meh. So in response
Wait,
to this,
it'll cause them to do what, Colin?
they go meh, meh,
I
meh.
just heard it on the on the recording.
So I picked up my phone and chucked it across the room at the couch, and it bounced off and is now on the ground, and will not menace us anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like okay, so just more about Batman. For the cartoon, they took black backgrounds and painted color onto them, which
Wait,
is
really?
yeah, which is really cool, and it's why
Wow.
it looks so like atmospheric and dark and broody. Is because they just started with black as opposed to going to black, which I think was a really stroke of genius move for storyboarding, and it looks so good. Oh my god, and all like the 50s like Art Deco aesthetics and like the cars and the characters, and it's like it's wonderful.
Na 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 Batman.
It actually treats what I really like about the show is that it treats the villains more like I just saw the Two-Face two-parter at the beginning of the show, and it treats them more like mental health patients and like victims of severe like traumas and things than like devious criminals. They're always people who need help but don't really know how to or can't quite get it, and also have extreme circumstances.
I really like that. It sort of humanizes the villain.
Yeah, it makes them more, less cartoony, despite that being a cartoon. Like, it's like, these are, Batman's really fucked up, and these people are really fucked up, and Batman helps them be less fucked up. And I'm like, that's cool. He's like a psychiatrist who wears a cowl and runs around in the faint of night and beats up goons. I mean, he still beats up a lot of dudes.
Right.
And it's never quite explained how, my angst suddenly leads to, I'm going to steal lots of money. But, I appreciate it regardless.
Yeah, you said something actually, which, forgive me for going back to Avatar for a minute.
Dude, you never have to ask my forgiveness for talking about Avatar.
But I think that also sort of reminds me of why I like Zuko and Iroh so much in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because they are the villains for a large part of the series.
Yeah.
Sort of, they're like the main antagonists, but you get to see so much of them, and they themselves face such complex and weird and difficult circumstances that you also get a pretty good understanding for them as characters. I love it. I really like it when directors will, make their villains human, give them a really distinct character, not just like a really distinct caricature, like it's the Eggman, he always talks in egg puns. No, but I think
let's go down to the schoolyard and crack some heads.
I think that's what was missing in in Korra season 1 and 2, was that the villains were never really humanized.
Okay, yes, but that kind of worked in Amon's favor in hindsight, because Amon was such a Darth Vader shadowy archetype figure.
It very much worked in his favor, but I still didn't like it.
Yeah,
I would have liked a different villain.
Yeah.
For season 1.
You should come talk to Lydia and I, because we've been up to like 3 a.m. a couple times, rewriting Korra as this like how we would fix it hypothetical that you always do when you're a fan of a show.
Right.
And that's been pretty interesting. But some key ideas would be introducing Zahir in season 1, killing the Earth Queen in season 1, basically getting rid of everything that happens in season 2. Mako and Bolin aren't in it, and it basically making it this. It kind of becomes even more of a political like espionage thing. Korra becomes less of like a superhero and more of like a Cold War spy kind of thing, and she becomes like more of a detective character. It's basically retooling the story to fit the tropes that we like, but it's a fun thought exercise, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I should come visit you and Lydia. I mean, if not also just because I need to work out some D&D stuff.
Yeah.
With both of you guys too, because I'm floundering a little bit. We didn't have a session this week because I've been so busy with my honors thesis.
Yeah, I feel
like I've literally been in the library every day as much as possible for the past 4 days.
Yay.
Which also means that I've been eating terribly. Like, I went to Chipotle for dinner tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, Chipotle is better than most other fast foods. Like, of all the fast food Mexican out there, I feel like Chipotle is pretty okay. but still, like, I miss cooking for myself. I really honestly don't have time right now, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be so... The nice thing, though, is that my honors thesis the deadline is March 5th, which is this Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'll turn it in, and then it'll be my birthday.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can just relax for a day or two and then get like right back into hardcore editing and stuff.
Should come to Ninja this weekend.
Maybe.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
what happened at Ninja last night? How was it?
It was great. We started at 11 p.m. instead of 12. For those who are uninitiated, Ninja is a game played on the Lewis and Clark College campus at 11 p.m. every Saturday.
It's like capture the flag with swords.
Yeah, basically. We play it in the gardens, and we boff, which are the boffers, the swords that are PVC pipe with foam around them. And you play capture the flag and pretend to be ninjas and shoguns and things. And this weekend, we had like 9 people, and they're all cool people, and we played like an hour of Bear Pit, where we just stand in a circle, and you go around and fight each other in duels, and you just keep going and going and going, and it's actually really, really fun, and you get to experiment with a lot of different fighting styles and stuff. And then we played 2 rounds of tactics, and my team won both times.
I love tactics.
I know.
Tactics is my favorite.
Yeah. The first time, it was actually cool things happened both times, because the first time my team and we ran over to get the Shogun robe, and then as soon as we got to to get to one of the items, one of the entire other teams popped out from the shadows and just killed all of us,
Nice.
which was a great ambush. And then the second game, we were up on Lion's Head Fountain with the medic tunic and just played defense the entire time. We just did not let anyone get that tunic, and we won. Both rounds came down to duels in the center field. The first one was me versus Robert, and the second one was
Robert Amico?
Robert. No,
I know
Beard
the Robert.
Robert,
Yeah.
And the second one was myself versus Steven Hitchcock and a new guy named Colin. So, and I won both times, which was really cool.
Who's shogunning now?
Steven and Robert at the current moment, while Colin and Ryan are indisposed.
Yeah. Well, because Ryan is in Morocco right now, and I don't know what Colin is up to, but they're both graduating too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that it's turning
we
over.
have some good underclassmen that are gonna take over and stuff. It'll
That's
be good.
great.
Yeah, we
That's
got
really
a good crop. Not enough people, which concerns me, but
Yeah.
we had enough where it's like if we just had 5 more, we could play Dominion. Or
Yeah.
6 more. It's just like we need a couple more people to be regulars, and we can play Dominion every week.
Yeah. That would be cool.
But,
Oh, by the way, I mentioned this on the last episode with
Yeah.
Lee, but I actually never got to talk about it. So the podcast that sort of inspired us to do this imaginary radio show, TBTL, Too Beautiful to Live, they just got picked up by a podcast network called Infinite Guest. And the Infinite Guest is distributed by American Public Media, which is a huge thing. Like it gets distributed to NPR. Like it's a big thing. And TBTL has been picked up by them, and they are their first daily podcast. So TBTL, I mean, it's not going to change that much. It's still going to be the same sort of rambly whatever show that it already is, which
Wonderful.
is excellent.
yeah.
But they're now like able to focus on the podcast more or less full time now, which is really great.
That's really cool.
So
So please go listen to them, because we totally shamelessly ripped them off when we started the show, and we owe them all of our respect and support.
yes, a big thank you to TBTL, Luke Burbank, Andrew Walsh, Jen Andrews, Shonda Torre. Those guys are really who sort of inspired us to, or at least inspired me to get into doing imaginary radio, and I've really liked my time here.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to miss this. We've been doing this for 3 semesters
Yeah.
now, and fuck, we're almost to 30 episodes. Come on, man. We need to keep doing this somehow.
well, I mean, barring if we both lived in the same place, it might be possible, maybe.
Yeah.
But even then, it would be difficult because our options are get access to good equipment like we have here.
Yeah.
Not that this is particularly great equipment, but it's still thousands of dollars that we're working with here.
Yeah.
So either get access to that sort of equipment or buy it ourselves to do an imaginary radio show with, which I don't.
You got to start somewhere, but you're right. I don't know how we do that.
The other thing is if we're not in the same place,
Yeah.
it would be twice as difficult because then we'd have to figure out how to get 2 different broadcasts to feed into one to record one thing that's talking to. I don't know. It's just sort of a complex, weird situation where we would have to finagle a lot of things together. So I mean, I guess as we're sort of talking about the mortality of our podcast or our imaginary radio show,
Very dire way to put it.
Well, no, it is because I mean we really only have March, and I mean you'll be gone for at least 1 or maybe 2 shows in March because you'll be in Iceland, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be in Iceland, and then I have SoccerCon, so...
Right, so you'll be gone a few times.
Yeah.
And then we have all of April, so I'm just looking on the calendar right now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 9 more shows.
Yeah.
We have a potential to do 9 more shows.
I'll be gone for sure for at least 2 of those 2 weekends. So you should get cool guests. Get Lydia in here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to be able to record without you doing it though. While you're in Iceland, that might.
I won't be in Iceland while you are doing the show. I'll just be in Seattle on that first Sunday of spring break, and then we fly out like 4 in the morning.
Okay.
So I can still record it.
I mean, if you would still record it from Seattle.
Yeah, I can totally do that. It's like it's an internet thing. Location literally means nothing.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you could record it in Seattle, then that would be great. And then
yeah, I can do it.
The next Sunday, you would be back before the next Sunday then?
Yeah. Or actually,
Cool.
no. Yeah, I'd be. So it's only 1 weekend that I'm guaranteed to miss. That one, before I go to Iceland, and then the one after I get back from Iceland, I'll be back on campus that Sunday. And for
Right.
SoccerCon, I'll be back on campus that Sunday.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be able to do a show then,
right.
but I'll definitely
I
be
remember
back in
last
time.
year you were totally wiped, so
Yeah.
I think I had Leon as a guest host. But
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm going to start sort of fishing around for at least 1 or 2 guest hosts. I think we talked about. I invited Aaron on for next week.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try and see sometime if your schedule and my schedule and Adassa's schedule all line up.
Yeah.
So we can just sort of hang out.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
like you still really haven't met my girlfriend.
Not in a personal sense, no.
I mean, you like met her at the Halloween party for all of 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I feel like my best friend and my girlfriend should probably like hang out together in the same space a little bit.
Yeah, probably. That'd probably be good for our interpersonal relations. You know?
Yeah. So, no, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think we can convince her to come to pho with us. So we might have to do something else.
Well, we could go to Azteca with Adassa.
She hates Azteca.
God damn it.
I
Okay.
know. She's a little.
Margaritas!
I know, exactly. Margaritas are awesome. No, I mean we could go to ramen.
Yeah, we could go to ramen.
I know she would be down for that.
We also need to get Aaron and go to
Go to Applebee's,
Applebee's.
for quesadilla burgers.
Quesadilla Burgers.
Yeah,
It's his
no,
birthday
totally.
today, so happy birthday, Aaron.
Yeah, happy birthday, Aaron. Hold on. Oh fuck. You know what I just realized?
What?
I have a birthday drop. Can you fill for a minute while I find it?
Yeah. So, hello. This is now the Colin Suplee talks succulently into your sexual ears show. I'm just going to inject your brain with delicious love nuggets emanating from the power of my voice. On today's topic of the Colin Suplee and Totally Not Kevin show, we're going to be talking about posteriors. Have you ever noticed how wonderfully round the posteriors of young Santa Clauses are?
Young Santa Clauses?
Young Santa
As
Clauses.
opposed to old Santa Clauses.
Santa Clauses grow on trees in the northernmost tips of the continent of Antarctica. So,
There are no trees in Antarctica.
Except for the Santa Claus trees.
Yeah, of course. Also, happy birthday, Aaron. It's
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
yeah.
What the fuck was that?
It's the Tim and Eric show. God, I love that show so much.
Wow. Okay. That was intense. I wasn't expecting such high energy beats from a It's Your Birthday show.
Yeah, I've been meaning to sort of figure out a way to get. I wish we could use a soundboard more. Not like soundboard like this thing, but soundboard like use drops throughout the show a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure out different ways to put some stuff together. Just so, at my fingertips as we say stuff, I can have things happen like...
Okay, stop. All right, thank you. I mean, I used to have a Duke Nukem soundboard on my phone. I could put that up against the mic.
Do you want to test out something? Actually, I kind of want to test out something because TBTL, the excellent podcast that I was talking about, they have an app which actually has a TBTL soundboard on it. I need to adjust the volume on my phone though.
Come on.
That's better. So this is the TBTL app, which you can download on the App Store. I don't know if they have it for non-iPhone things, but there we go. Yeah, this is
That's hella janky.
this is what we've been needing the whole time.
Hooray for you!
We've been needing this soundboard the whole time.
I love Jesus, but I drink a little.
I'm going to have too much fun with this if you don't stop me.
Please.
You can't ride in my little red wagon. Boo boo boo
Kevin,
What?
we're trying to be professionals here.
I think it's the mating call of the sow-bellied nargile.
Okay, imagine trying to talk over that every episode. Like, if I had one and you had one, it would just turn into a soundbite war.
No,
We'd be fighting back and forth with sound effects.
Would. So I promise to use my powers for good and to not inundate the listening audience with sound effects because it would get really worn out really quickly.
Oh yeah, it would.
You boys blowing it up.
I'm not even sure what that small child just said.
Two bros broing it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Kevin is a little distracted right now.
I
we now
am.
return to our story
I
about Antarctic Santas.
I like the soundboard though. It's nice.
It's nice.
Comforting.
Like a pillow.
I mean, I wouldn't say quite like a pillow. I can see the similarities. I can see how you would get there.
Okay.
But I don't think it's quite similar enough to a pillow.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, so now we have a soundboard. I guess just impromptu on show, what is this, 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, on show 27, I guess we've gotten our soundboard finally.
Oh my God. See, okay. You know what'll happen if we do that? You will literally build all of your conversation around building up to these punchlines that'll just be this repeat of the same noises over and over and over again.
No, I honestly promise I won't do that. Like if there's an actual like not forced good opportunity for one of those, I'll use it probably. But if not, meh.
I should. Well, see. Here's how I win. I re-download that My Little Pony soundboard I had in
Oh, dear
freshman year,
God.
and I just troll the fuck out of you.
My mustache.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore. I kind of grew out of that fandom a couple years ago.
Thank God. Yeah.
Although I still have those toys on my shelf.
Yeah.
I can't throw away old things.
I mean, I totally don't have that problem, except with books. I collect books. That's the one thing I don't throw away.
Books have become like collector's items nowadays. They're not things you read, they're things you buy. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, same. I need to, once I graduate, I need to sit down and actually read all of the books that I own because I have not read.
Oh, you'll never have time to do that.
I don't know.
Life will intervene, Kevin.
Yeah, probably.
You got jobs to get, things to do, books to write. sex
books
to
to write.
have.
Oh,
you know.
well, I mean, sex to have always, but books to write. Holy shit! I'm not writing books after this. I highly doubt I'm going to become an author in any capacity. It would be an interesting and honestly kind of weird turn of events if I did. Although I did write Coup de Tart.
You did write Coup de Tart.
And remember how I was working on the back burner,
Yeah.
the gay erotica?
About kitchen chefs, yes.
Right. I was talking with Edessa a week or two ago, and I just sort of, I we were cooking, and I was like, oh, just put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
And it came back to me, and I remembered
Yeah.
that I'd been writing a story called The Back Burner, and I haven't even looked at it in about 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be one of my projects when I'm done with my honors thesis, is to go back and actually write The Back Burner.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing I want you to write that you sort of jokingly made and then threw away but was fucking genius is
I know.
the Minecraft epic poem that was written
in
like,
Middle English.
Yeah, that was written in Middle English.
Yep.
That, please keep writing that. Oh my god, that was really good.
Yeah. No, I will. I'm going to write something reminiscent of the general prologue from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, although pertaining to Minecraft, which I also haven't played in a long ass time.
Yeah, neither have I. We should have a
It's
LAN
been a
party.
while. Yeah, we should.
We can do that on campus now.
Oh,
But
we
should,
can?
Yeah, but we
Or
should.
you could come over to my house.
Yeah, I was
and we
just
could
gonna
do it.
say you have a house and beer. Let's do it there.
Yeah, I have a house and beer, and we can make lasagna.
Ah, it sounds fucking rad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you'll have to wait for me to get a little bit out of the woods on my thesis.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
But,
Take your time,
but
dude.
yeah, there will be beer and lasagna and Minecraft,
That's great. That's
but
a good
mostly
idea.
lasagna.
Okay, that's good because I love lasagna.
Are you, Garfield?
A bit. I'm kind of a grouchy orange cat who really likes pasta.
Honestly, the lasagna is the only resemblance I see between you and Garfield.
Yeah, maybe when my hair was longer.
Well, maybe. I mean, how do you feel about Mondays?
Honestly, Tuesdays are the kicker. No, Wednesdays. Wednesdays suck dick. Mondays are okay.
Yeah.
Usually they feel like I'm I am busy from 10 to 3, but after that it's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
nice even pace.
So I guess we can verify that you're not Garfield.
No, I'm not Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm more like an adult Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, so not nearly as intelligent.
I can see that though. I like that.
So on that happy note, should we wrap up?
Yeah, I guess we should. What are we going to call this show, by the way? Settling
said-
for Mediocrity?
Yeah, settling for mediocrity.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we could repeat it during our show again. Just
so
in
our
case it
listeners
wasn't
know.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you for listening this week. We will be back obviously next week, and next week we will have Aaron Graham as our special guest. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a thing to work. There we go. Now it's plugged in. God damn it. I've been having so many problems with the technology today.
Well, let's
I don't
not
really-
bother our listeners with it right now, Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's
Anyway,
let
thank
them
you for
drift off
listening
to sleep to our
to What the Hell
succulent
Did
voices.
You Expect? I've been your host, Kevin Ryan, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.